The makeup, the high heels, those costumes, who could ever forget Kiss? The ultimate 70s glam rockers have sold more records in Australia than just about anyone else. Well, now they're back, sort of. A group of performers have recorded a tribute album of their favourite Kiss songs. And joining me now, Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley from Kiss. Gene and Paul, thank you very much for your time.
How are you?
I'm terrific. Now, you must be feeling pretty good. This tribute album must mean that you're cool again.
Well, we were, only in your eyes was there ever any doubt, Stan. But with an album like Kiss My Ass, I guess it's an appropriate title. It's really not an invitation, it's just a statement of fact. Because after 20 years, obviously, if someone's not into what we're doing, they can change the channel now or they can not listen to the music. But as for the rest of the people, it's really an honor for us to have, you know, this kind of adulation or whatever it is at this point.
Gene, what do you think of the versions of the songs on this album?
I think the versions really do the artists themselves justice, and in fact, in some cases, really outdo our versions.
You drive us wild, we'll drive you crazy. See, you want to go for a spin.
Listening to some of the tracks on the album, for instance, when I heard Rock and Roll All Night, I tell you, I got a heck of a shock. I mean, as a country song, it's certainly a different version, isn't it?
It's amazing to hear a song you wrote and really have to get reacquainted with it. The version of Rock and Roll All Night you're talking about really knocked us out.
They keep on shouting, keep on shouting. I wanna rock and roll all night and party every day.
Now, you even backed up Garth Brooks, which must have been a bit of a kick for him, because he cites you as one of his biggest influences.
That actually happened as a natural result of us listening to Garth talk about Kiss in interviews, one after another. Then finally Paul dragged me down to see Garth in concert, and I was astonished. You know, the show was very much like country meets Kiss. Big stage show, fireworks, everything. And finally Garth invited us down to Nashville to back him up, so it became Garth Brooks and the Kiss Band.
His version of Hard Luck Woman is pretty faithful to your version too, isn't it?
I think it's better, actually, with all, you know, due respect to the original. I just think there was a magic of us being in the studio and playing spontaneously that the original really doesn't have. Originally, when we were recording and I heard Garth singing, I was going, gee, he's not singing this the way it's supposed to be sung. Now when I listen to both versions, it's the original that doesn't sound right.
My feelings would never show. I started walking, but there's so much that you'll never know. I keep telling you a hard luck woman. You ain't a hard luck woman.
Now, the makeup, of course, is gone. When you look back at that, do you think that was one of the great attractions of the band, that you were getting much more than music, you were getting a theatrical experience as well?
I don't think you can discount the makeup, but I think it's wrong to point to it as the focal point. I think people on the outside always point to the wrong thing. People always point to Christmas and say, look at the presents. It's not what it's about, folks. Because you take away the presents and you should still have Christmas. You take away the makeup, you should still have Kiss.
The truth is, we stopped doing the makeup, not because we hated it, but because we loved it. Because it had been so good to us, and it really was an expression of who we were at that time, that to fake it and to look a way that we never, you know, felt was at that point in time indicative of us as people, it was time to change it. Obviously, I hope you don't look the same as you did 10 years ago, although I hope you look as youthful as you did. But other than that, we all have to move on, and if we're recreating what we did in the past, it's not worth it.
With the release of the tribute album, the record company in Australia is billing it as the band that is a household name with people from ages 15 to 50. That's certainly a long way from the years when they were trying to link you with satanic worship, isn't it?
Well, I actually just finished my ritual to Satan, my Lord. And, you know, all that stuff is such crap, and it really doesn't deserve even joking about, although I just did. And really the ultimate of all the stuff that we keep hearing back and forth about the press is when you read a newspaper account of Dynasty, a tribute band from Australia, your own, that puts on Kiss makeup and does the entire show, or to read Australian Kiss fanzines like Oh Yeah, and a lot of other Crazy Nights, a lot of great Australian fanzines.
Done by fans,
Yeah.
having nothing to do with big bucks, having nothing to do with big media. It comes from our fans. It comes from their hearts and souls. And that's still, I mean, rampant around the world. If we're a household name or household word, so is the flu.
I think you'd be much more welcome in people's houses than the flu, and I think this album is certainly going to sell a bundle in Australia, and it's a tribute to it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Kiss my ass.
Yeah, I'd rather not, thanks. And that is the name of the album, by the way. Kissmania there, striking back. After the break, Alexander Downer survives an encounter with Andrew Denton.